Let's go.
All right, all right, all right. Hey, if you saw that last segment with brother SJ, man, that was phenomenal, fantastic. You can catch that on YouTube, somewhere on my page. It'll be there. And now what we're going to be doing today, this is Screen of Steve from Cheat Code. What we're going to be doing here is going over Friday's price action, February 2nd, and showing y'all a couple of quick things. I got my team with me, the Cheat Code Posse. All the traders in here, they are phenomenal. 45 of us in here today. That was fantastic. You know, they came up, they showing up today. I ain't playing. All right, fantastic. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, so we're gonna go over futures. We can go over SPY as well. But I want to use NQ. We'll go through NQ today. And I do use EMAs, and a lot of people don't use EMAs, and they like naked charts and so NQ. Hold on. They like naked charts. I love naked charts to do my charting and everything else, but I do use EMAs. I do use the MACD. You know, some people say, "Oh my God, you use indicators." I do. You can say what you want, but it helps me, so I do what I want. And I learned from millionaire traders that use it as well. So that's that. Okay, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the price action from Friday. I'm going to. This is the daily chart. I want to go down. I like to use the 2-minute chart because we do a lot of scalping here. You open this up. And these things was hitting some of my levels. Because like I said, I do my levels of supply, so not support, not supply and demand, but support and resistance on my daily, weekly, hourly time frames. And they be showing up. They be showing up something vicious during the daily trading. So I'm gonna start from about 8 o'clock, right? Because I want to show you guys the magic of supply and demand and support and resistance and some of these other patterns that we go through. I'm gonna see something real quick. All right, no, that's cool. All right. So we're gonna start from 8 o'clock, right? So I like crossover strategies because what the EMAs help you do is help you see one, the trend, and at the same time where most of the people are trading, right? Is that simple. Which way are they going, right? For the most part. When you go inside, when it's crisscross and all the EMAs are tight, it's pretty much consolidating, going sideways for a while. When it breaks out of this consolidation, it's usually a big move, right? It's like a little coil pushed down. Then when you let it go, it springs open, whoo, and some crazy things can happen. So what we're gonna do, I'm not gonna stay too long with you guys, but we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna show y'all how Friday's action played out. So we did have non-farm payroll at 8:30 in the morning. I did miss it. It is what it is, but my play did play out. I got a nice 617 cross down here. We got lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows after we hit a resistance area. And this here broke down something nice. I was telling my team about the red take out green earlier, as far as like my man Oliver Velez does it. I like to pull back into the EMAs, let that red take out that green, and then push down. Right before 8:30 came about, had a nice little green candle push up, last little push up to get some more liquidity, and this thing crack came on down crazy, right? Now let me throw on my MACD. Let me throw on my MACD right quick. Let me show you my MACD real quick because this was something I was watching as it was happening. I don't need the stochastic right now. So what was happening is on top of it hitting one of my support areas here, right? We came down, it started kind of going sideways, right? On this 2-minute. Now, what I did notice, if I'm correct, was that on my 5-minute, what time is this? No, right about 9:30. If I am correct, now I'm gonna throw in my stochastic. Okay, cool. So we were in as 9 is 8:35. We were oversold, right? And this is continuing to push down. I said, okay, all right, we're pushing down. We're at support. We're oversold. So this may want to push up, turn around, right? So seeing that, let me see what my 15 was saying at that same time. 15 minutes, same thing. We're in oversold on a stochastic RSI. We're at support level. So I'm looking for this to turn around. That's my thought process when I'm looking at this here, right? So now we're gonna go back to the 2 minute. I see that on the 15 minute. I said, okay, say less. That's probably gonna that's probably gonna be right where this is gonna take a pause, push up a little bit, maybe even come back down, or be a good size reversal, right? Come on, move on over. Okay, there we go. Here we go. I want to zoom in on this a little bit. So seeing that, and that's one of my strategies. My family here knows I like to see that 15-minute overbought or oversold on the stochastic near a support or resistance, and then I'm looking for my on my lower time frame, which is my 2 minute. I'm looking for that EMA crossover, right? So with the MACD, I also love to see divergences. I love them, especially as support or resistance. Those give me that extra edge, that extra confirmation that this thing may be turning around, right? And with the 15-minute being oversold at that time, and I believe we were away from the EMAs, if I'm correct. Price action wasn't price action away from the EMAs. Look at that. So here's my 17 and my 6. So look where price is. That big old gap. Price is this is what's called reversion back to the mean, right? My 17 EMA, my 50 EMA, price action is too far from it. Wants to come back up and say, hey, how you doing? You want to go back and touch it, right? So that being said, showing me that on a bigger time frame, I'm like, okay, the least we're going to have is a retracement back to the mean. So that also gives me a good vibe of taking this back up. Yeah, trader shoddy. Yeah, divergences, especially on multiple time frames. It's definitely it's a telltale sign, right? That the big money is actually taking their money out of it or putting their money in it. Right. So we're gonna go back to the 2 minute, and what we do have is a nice size bullish divergence, right? So I'm seeing bullish divergences. We got a low here, went higher, came down lower. The MACD is supposed to follow it. Exactly. Right. Then we came up here, came down lower, the MACD is supposed to be following it to the T. Well, what's happening is instead of following it, flowing with it, it's not. What's happening is move this out of the move this up a little bit. It's up just at this tap. There we go. Now I can do my drawing. So the momentum, which is the MACD, that's what it's used for. The momentum is slowing down and even stopping. So we're getting lower price action, but the momentum is not vibing with it. It's not going with it like it's supposed to. Right? It's supposed to flow with it. If this goes up, this is supposed to go. If it comes down, it's supposed to come down about the same level. So where price action is lower here, this MACD lines and histograms should be lower than the previous. And as we can see, they're not. We got lower here. We don't even have any red histograms. This thing is green and prices and the MACD is going up. Right. So now that there also along with the 15-minute, we're at support. The 15-minute is oversold. We're away from those EMAs. And now my 2-minute is giving me more vibes that it wants to turn around. Okay, say less. That being said, a good entry point here would be the break of the middle pivot between these two lows with that bullish divergence and a nice entry, right? So where could we go, right? Let me pull down the MACD now, right? So where could we go? What's possible? Let's look for previous resistances, right? Which now I'm gonna turn off my EMAs for a second. Now we're gonna do straight price action. Here's a level of resistance right here, right? We had a nice move up, nice sharp, good push down. That could be first target profit right there, right? So at the same time, we have this big imbalance here in the supply zone here. Last green candle before a good push down. Watch this. Remember this area. I'm gonna show y'all some magic. And we're just gonna go over how price action really moves. And before I move on to that, before we got to anybody got any questions on what we did or why we did it? Or not bearish, that bullish divergence, or where we even stopped at? The stop was at one of my hourly, this blue line is one of my hourly support levels. Okay, so no questions. Everybody understand that? Let me get a yeah in the text, or somebody shout me out, holla.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
All right, cool, cool. I'm glad y'all with me. All right, as long as y'all with me. Okay, cool. So this was one of my targets when I saw this, right? And I didn't even get into this trade, but I was like, yo, if this thing goes back to the supply zone, get out of here. I saw it come right back to the supply zone. And this is what we talking about, that manipulation, right? It got a little bit above it, but at the same time, this was consolidation as well, right in here, right? At first, before it finally broke down. Well, no, not necessarily. It had a little consolidation right here, but we did have low, came down low, high, low, high. So this was a little bit of a trend. We got to the supply zone where it finally broke on down. It hit it, pushed down. Where did it push down to? Right around the same level of this previous resistance. Pushed back up into the supply zone. Then what did it do again? It got smacked. Came again. Got back up here. What did it do? Got smacked. Now, this time, look how funny where it came down to. So hold on, I'm gonna move this resistance, this support line, this resistance, previous resistance becomes support. Don't forget it's a zone, right? So look where it stopped, right in here, right? Came down, got smacked. Came down, got smacked. Look where it stopped. Right in here. Crazy, right? Now this is gonna be a demand zone right here, because this is a phenomenal push up after it break here. So I'm gonna create another little box right here for a demand zone. And I'm gonna, come on, relax, stay right here. There you go. I'm gonna move this right back into the top of that here. So you know this whole thing is a zone right here, right? Okay. So we finally break that supply zone, right? We break that supply zone, go to another one of my 15-minute levels. I don't know what this is from, probably back in, this is what my yellow lines are 15-minute levels of support and resistance. It gets up here, cool, made a nice move up, finally broke through the supply zone. Guess what it does? It comes back and retests that supply zone and uses it as support. And what it does? Pushes on up, makes a little thing. So now watch this. I always tell people about these what's called micro trend breakouts, right? Because now we got a high, low. We're looking for it to go higher, but it stops right here, right? And then comes back down to look to previous resistance, which is now support, which is funny. So when this happens and I get another pivot, I draw lines across these pivots, right? Came up, kind of high, came down, came up high, came down, came up here. Okay, cool. Once it broke this line, that's what's called a micro trend breakout. This micro trend breakout, once these happen, they usually go for quite a ways in the direction of the original trend, right? And sure enough, it made a massive move up. It was crazy. And I don't got my EMAs on, but watch this. I'm gonna put my EMAs on. I'm gonna show y'all something. If we following on the previous segment, when SJ was talking, riding those EMAs, even if we wasn't, and we are now, look at that red, following my green take out red, because we're in the uptrend. Red candle, we considered it here too, red candle. Green one took it out, it never came back below, push up. Red candle, green took it out, on top of that breakout, nice strong bar, and look at the flow. Look at that. Red candle, the green take it out, nice move up. And this kept going for a little while, right? As it comes back and found the top up here, if I'm correct, I think we were overbought on the multiple time frames right here, from what I remember. And let me throw my stochastic, and sure enough, here go another one of my strategies that I teach y'all when we get into certain levels of resistance, as overbought situation, MACD cross down, nice move down to the next level of support, which happens to be, look what that level of support landed, right where we had resistance right here. Ain't that something? Y'all keep playing. Y'all gonna find out about this price action. Price don't forget where it stopped and where it went before. And it sure enough did that, bounced up. And Ross said, so was the divergence to the MACD too. See what I'm saying? Some divergences be helping, they be helping, showing you when it's going to slow down or possibly reverse. Okay, cool. So we had that come back down to resistance, became support, was old resistance, now becomes support. All right. Okay, it came up, made a lower high than this previous high here, right? Made a lower high. What do? Draw a line across it. Let's see. Now I'm definitely looking at to see if these EMAs are going to cross down. I like to see the 617. When that crosses down below the 50, it's usually pretty strong. But as far as price action is concerned, we're not going to call this a downtrend until it breaks this low, right? Because we got a high, we got a low here, lower high. We want to see a lower low. We want this to continue to push down so we can say, okay, now we're in a downtrend. But what this did was it created a higher low. So the first thing I do when I see those things is think consolidation, right? That's the first thing I think of. But guess what? What's funny is if you when you connect these lines here and you connect the ones at the bottom, what do we get, y'all? A friggin' penny. A penny. So usually with these patterns, it usually, not all the time, usually goes in the direction of the trend, which it did here, which it broke out here, which is you can buy it on the close of the breakout candle. Me at the same time, it was a green takeout red. Look at that. Ain't that something? And they go you move up. Previous high can be a first target for you or your only target. You can do whatever you want, or you can just follow the trend. All right, cool. Let me see something here. Where I have this line here, I want to see if I had that line before at the previous resistance. Or did I draw that? Or was this all-time highs? I have an hourly line here, so let me see something on the hourly. Okay. That line was here from probably something over here. I can only assume, or maybe I put that on yesterday. But we're gonna keep it pushing. Because I usually do the wicks, the top of the wicks, but that's all right. As you can see, it bumped its head here, bumped it again here, bumped it again here. I actually said, I was wondering if it was going to break out here, but then when it started pushing down, my EMAs crossed. I said, I'm taking that down real quick. So I took that down for a little bit of change. And I caught this one. This one I caught. I didn't catch the whole of this red candle, but I caught it to about right here where it was previous support, which was nice. But the price action, I just wanted to make sure I showed y'all how these things are price remembers where it was before. So that's how you can go where possible targets can be, where possible resistance can be, so you know where to stop and get out and where to take your profits at. This was, I'm sure, if I remember correctly, this was having some major bearish divergences. So we're hitting the top. The more times we hit the top, the lower the momentum was going, right? So we pretty much got almost like a flat top here, but look what the MACD was doing on the histograms and on the lines. It's going lower. No more buyers, less buyers. So that being said, on top of your EMAs crossing over, showing you that people are dying out of buying this, is a nice little trade to the downside. All right. And after 4 o'clock, the futures goes right into 5. We had a nice pullback. Red take out green, go down. Red take out green, go down. Red take out green, go down. Sloping, we're beneath the 50, below the 50, below the 17, below the 6. And this thing even crossed over the 200. Back to a support level, which was back here. Look where price ended up, right around this area. This is some straight price action. This is some crazy stuff. And we just use the indicators to help see if momentum agrees with what we're seeing here. This to me was just like an awesome trading day to see different patterns, different structure. And this is when we talk about structure, this is what we're talking about. How you guys feel about that? Y'all like that little breakdown I did? Talk to me.
Not bad, bro. Not bad.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Cool. And this is the kind of stuff, when we're on the trading floor, we're looking at this in real time and seeing these things play out and saying what's possible. Nothing is ever guaranteed, but we say what's possible based on a little bit of knowledge that we know. know. So that being said, you know, I don't want to erase my lines because my lines are official, but I might redo my lines. I might redo my lines this weekend. I don't know. Because really and truly, going into next week, these lines are going to be, especially on the way back down, if this continues to go down, it's going to be very effective. And if it goes up, it's going to be effective. Now that we have, oh, I just seen this just now. You see how we had this line right here going across the tops? Let's throw a line right in here. Let me zoom in a little bit. You see how this became resistance, right? This was resistance right here, became a lower high. Let's throw a line right here. Let me show y'all something. Spam risk, people call it me. Let's throw a line right there. Okay. I'm gonna make that, I'm gonna change that color. That's my 15-minute line. Now let's go to the right. All right, that broke it there. That's cool. You see how it hit it right here? Became support and bounced back up. Look at this. Support. Support. So even though this was a lower high over here, this became support on a multitude of levels, which you could have played it back up to the resistance. Now this is how you run. This is how you run ranging. We have a ranging market. You can catch that support and get it and get to it. And it became support trend line to the downside. Shoot. I can see it.
It might, but no,
No, it might.
I was looking at the wrong thing on your chart.
No, that's
Yeah,
all.
because they tend to do that.
It does. I've seen it happen a
Yeah, but
multitude of times.
yeah, yep. Not that brought me back one day to like that's why Buster chart used to have them lines going all the way from here to there.
Yeah,
Because they
have it
they
extended.
are relevant.
Mm-hmm. They are. It's like all geometry. It's crazy how much of like a geometry it'd be. It'd be like, yo, how would it hit that level to the exact T and this, that, and certain lines intersect with support and resistance levels. Like it gets crazy. It can get real crazy. You know, of course, there's a time where you can have too much on your screen, but you know, hey, if it work, right? See something. But yes, so I'm hoping that you guys learned something today when it comes to that, and come on, hang out over Cheat Code, man. You know, we here for y'all. We do this for free, and we can't teach you everything because we don't know everything, but we can teach you what we know, and if it works for you, be fantastic to help on your trading journey. All right. I'm gonna stop sharing this right now, unless anybody got any questions. Y'all got any questions on the team? It's 45, 41 of y'all in here. If anybody got any questions, please let me know. But that's how Friday went. Friday was beautiful. And I think this is like this was a good day to do a lot of charting and show y'all some serious levels of support, resistance, supply and demand zones, and how I trade my vibes, which I definitely could have ran this. This was a good run when it comes to EMAs. I could have ran those EMAs. Cool. I'm glad. I know I talk a little fast, so sometimes I try to slow it down, I'm glad it was helpful, KB, no doubt. All right, well, listen, like I said, y'all come over to Cheat Code, come hang out with us. It's totally free. The link would be put down below. Hit the like button if you learned a little something today, and hit the subscribe button for the next videos. I'm going to be doing some more, but I'm usually just hanging out here in the Cheat Code with the Cheat Code family. We're making money every day. So we'll see you on the next one. All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you, Steve.
No problem, man. No problem.